Before publishing your video, you need to define your video goals and identify the best key performance indicators for determining whether you've accomplished those goals. Key performance indicators, or KPIs for short, are metrics used to track the performance of a business, a department, or individuals. This could be to increase brand awareness, engagement, or even a conversion to speak with a sales rep. This will help make sure you're focusing on the right KPIs you want to track.
Thinking about the different metrics by campaign, to me, really goes back to the goals. If it's a lead generation goal, then it makes sense to think about, what is the conversion rate, where inside of the video is the most optimal place to place a form or something like that, or if it's a video that's on a landing page, seeing how maybe different videos might influence conversion. But obviously that's pretty self-contained.
You may be asking yourself, which KPIs should we be tracking to understand if our video initiative is successful? Well, you're not alone. Google Brandlab, the company's brand building arm that helps brands build YouTube content strategies, has worked with thousands of companies to learn about their challenges and develop ways to overcome them. Let's review a list of questions Google Brandlab uses to help business get more concrete goals instead of the usual, how many views means my video is successful. First, what's your primary goal for this video initiative? With each new video your business launches, it's important to keep in mind which stage of the buyer's journey it's meant to support. For example, is your video meant to increase brand awareness and attract newcomers to your website? Is it meant to help your prospects consider a solution to one of their problems that your business offers? Or is it meant to help your leads make a decision to do business with you? Knowing which stage of the buyer's journey you're intending to support will ultimately help you identify your primary goal. Second, what are the KPIs for that goal? Based on the goal you set, which metrics can help you better track and measure performance? Let's review a list of metrics that you should consider tracking to measure the performance of your online videos. Let's start with view count, also known as impressions. View count is the number of times your video has been viewed, also referred to as reach. This metric is great to track if your goal is to increase brand awareness and have your content seen by as many people as possible. However, it's important to remember that every video hosting platform measures a view differently. For example, a view on YouTube is 30 seconds, while a view on Facebook and Instagram is only 3 seconds. Be sure to review each platform to make sure you understand what a view actually is. Next is a play rate. Play rate is the percentage of people who played your video divided by the number of impressions it received. This metric helps determine how relevant or appealing your video is to your audience. If hundreds of thousands of people see a video, but only a few hundred people play it, it's probably time to optimize your content, like updating the thumbnail of the video. Next is social engagements. Likes, shares, and comments. How do people react to your video? Did it receive a lot of likes? If so, then you're doing a good job with creating engaging content for your audience. What do people like or dislike about the video? You can check this out in the comments section. Here's a pro tip. If your audience is going to take the time to comment on one of your videos, whether it be negative or positive, then engage with them. This could be an opportunity to delight someone who loves what you're doing or help turn a disgruntled viewer into a fan. Social shares is a good indicator of how relevant your content is with your target audience. If a viewer watches your video and takes the time to share it with their network, you're probably creating a great piece of content. Social engagements are important because the more your video is engaged with, the more it'll be viewed. Platforms want to show content that people are engaging with. If your goal is to reach a lot of people, then social engagements is an effective metric to track. Next is total watch time. Total watch time is the amount of time that a viewer watches a video. This gives you a sense of what content viewers actually watch, as opposed to videos that they click on and then abandon.
So we like to use total time watched as a really interesting proxy for engaging with the brand. And this is something that we learned after doing the longer form video content, was that if we create it, people will watch it. And we've done some crazy back-end analysis, and we've seen that the more times you interact with the Wistia brand, the more likely you are to become a brand advocate and to eventually try our software and maybe become a paying customer. And so we create a lot of video because that's a great way to connect with our audience and to inspire and to convert. But really, we're interested in tracking how that impacts the brand over time. And so 2 years ago, we didn't even think about total time watched. but it's something that we've adopted over the last few months, really, as we've gotten the learnings from the longer form content. And it's something that we're really excited about moving forward.
Next is video completions. A video completion is the number of times a video is played in its entirety. This metric can be more reliable than view count when trying to determine your video's success. That's because someone who watches your video to the end is generally more engaged. Keep in mind, the longer the video, the harder it will be to keep people tuned in until the very end. A video completion for a 2-minute video is a lot different than a 20-minute video. Next is a video completion rate. Video completion rate is the number of people who completed your video divided by the number of people who played it. Video completion rate is a great way to gauge a viewer's reaction to your video. Do you have a low completion rate? Is a large portion of your audience dropping off at a certain point in the video? This might be a sign that your video content is not resonating with your target audience, or it's not engaging them enough to keep them tuned in. Next is click-through rate. Click-through rate is the number of times your call to action is clicked divided by the number of times it's viewed. Click-through rate is a great indicator of how effective your video is at encouraging people to take your desired action. If your click-through is low, consider editing the design, copy, or placement of your call to action. Next is conversion rate. Conversion rate is the number of times visitors complete your desired action divided by the number of clicks on your call to action. If your goal is to have your viewers complete an action like downloading one of your educational offers, try adding a video to your website or landing pages to see if your conversion rate increases. And lastly is bounce rate. Bounce rate is the percentage of people who land on a page on your website, then leave. Are you thinking about embedding a video on your website? Take note of the page's bounce rate and the amount of time people spent on the page before you add the video. Be sure to check the metrics after you embed the video on one of your website pages to see if it changes the way people interact with your other content. If your goal is to get your educational website content rankings on search engines like Google, then bounce rate is an important metric to track. Of the people who find your site using Google, the longer they stay on your site shows the search engine that your content is helping viewers. If Google thinks your content is helpful and solves for searcher intent, then this can lead to first page rankings for the topics you want to show up for. Let's move on to the third question Google Brandlab uses. What are the best video analytic tools to measure your KPIs? You've identified your goal. You understand the KPIs that are attached to the goal. Now it's time to figure out a platform that will help you measure them properly. If you host your video on YouTube, then consider YouTube Analytics. If you're considering more robust video analytics, then consider a video platform like Wistia. These platforms often come with features like viewer-based tracking, so you can track specific people and how they engage with your video content, video heat maps that show you exactly which parts of your video each individual viewer has watched, rewatched, and skipped over, and engagement graphs that compile your audience's viewing behavior. And now we're on to the fourth question. How will you optimize for your KPIs? Once you determine your metrics and how you're going to be measuring them, set up a competitive benchmark. Naturally, you'll want to compare yourself to others in your industry. But it can be difficult to get an accurate comparison. For example, your competitor using video could be tracking different metrics, have a wider audience, and even have more budget to work with. Instead of focusing too hard on what your competitors are doing, consider comparing your initiative to your previous initiatives. If this is your first time setting goals for a video, then make an educated guess and document what happens. This way, you'll have a benchmark to work with next time. Before we finish, the best way to increase the performance of your videos is to A/B test them. A/B testing, also known as split testing, is a marketing experiment where you split your audience to test a number of variations of a campaign and determine which performs better. In other words, you can show version A of a piece of content to one half of your audience and version B to another. A/B tests can significantly help improve your video performance. Yet, it's not widely used with videos.
This is something that drives me crazy. I've spoken about this at a few different conferences. There's so much of marketing where marketers are hyper-focused on testing and experimenting and learning and optimizing targeting and channels and language and creative. And for whatever reason, video kind of gets a set it and forget it designation. And I just think that's crazy. I mean, video is one of the most powerful mediums there is for connecting and engaging and driving behavior. And any marketer that uses video knows that, yet they create one video and they count the launch of that video as the done point. And I just really think that that's the starting point. Whether it's taking the content and editing it and shortening it or experimenting with the story based on some of the engagement and the play rate data that you've got, or if it's going back to the drawing board and seeing, can I beat the high score? To me, when the video is created is really like the starting point or the halfway point of what you get out of that project. So it drives me crazy. Marketers need to be spending more time optimizing their videos. We've done a lot of A/B testing with video at Wistia. For a long time, we did lots of conversion rate optimization and lots of work on our growth team to try to drive different product behavior, user onboarding, and things like that. So what you test totally depends on sort of your macro level goals. But for us, if we think about video as something to inspire some type of behavior, some type of action, we've tried different videos if we're sort of not sure which one to use, or if we've debated, should this be an explainer? Should it be a talking head video? Should it just be kind of the lean over the shoulder product shot where someone's using our tool? We oftentimes don't know what's the best in terms of inspiring action. And so we'll try a few different flavors of different videos in the same spot to try to drive, whatever our main goal is. We've also, when we figure out what video is the most effective, we've experimented with different ways to maximize our play rate. So we've experimented with different thumbnails, text thumbnail versus video thumbnail, and some of the things that I mentioned before. And we've also experimented with where the video lives. So is it on the top of the page? Is it a popover, embedded experience? Is it in line within a smaller piece of text? Is it something that lives on the bottom right-hand corner of a page with maybe an external tool? So thinking about all the different ways that you use video and what you want to get out of it can really open up different doors for A/B testing. But in general, I think video is incredibly valuable in driving behavior, and what video is the most valuable, I think, is the most interesting thing to learn as a marketer.
If you want to learn more about how to conduct an A/B test for one of your videos, then check out the resources section of this lesson. I've included a link to a helpful Wistia how-to article. And that's it. 4 questions to ask for when determining goals and metrics for your online videos. Make sure to answer these questions for each video you create to help better inform decision-making in the future. That could be conducting an A/B test on a current video, or it could be deciding to launch another similar video for a different topic because the first one performed well. Whatever the case, you can only make decisions like these if you measure and analyze the performance of the videos you produce.